Hello, it's me, DjDoubleT, here for our Tuesday night stream of self-care and being chill, I guess. Welcome to anybody who comes by. We're just here to chat while I'm doing work. We can just exist in peace or in chattiness, if anything. What do I have to do today? For me, I think, let's see, my book is already done. But I think I need to work on the book of the subtle art of not giving an F, along with maybe some doodles if I have some time, and also just finishing up a therapy journal as usual. Getting that done should be important. Look how bright this, it's nice to have a therapy app, but it's so bright. And I wish I had an option to do a dark mode. Oh, hello, Booma. Why are you booming? You coming to disrupt the peace? Is that what I'm seeing? And I wish my camera would focus. It's gone in and out, in and out. Alright, understand. When is bed supposed to be? Is it supposed to be later? Or is it supposed to be really, really soon? Hi, Cukin. Thank you for stopping by. I can't spell went right. I was trying to type went and then I typed in WNE and then space T. I was like, Hey, watermelon. Time went noom, didn't it? Oh gosh, it's been 20 minutes already, and I have been done. Finish this journal. You know, trying to get your thoughts on paper is not as easy as it seems. Especially for someone like me who gets easily distracted. Also today, it seems like, at least on my side, not on like the stream side, Watermelon and Kitten are both blue. Puma is like more of a teal color. I wonder if anybody's gonna have a different color. I hope you know every time there's a spelling of nyum, you really have to voice it and be like nyum. I want to get this done so I can like pay attention to something else, because it's taking all my mental energy to finish this. Huh. I wonder why that's different on my side. Oh well. On my side, yeah, actually. Because with at least with what I'm using for streaming, it has like its own color. And then the chat right there, I can see it as well as like, you're definitely orange. You're definitely an orange. Alright, good night, Puma. Make sure, I was trying to say a line, but my mind clipped and said, make sure something doesn't bite your toes, and then if autofill with Muppets, make sure the Muppets don't bite your toes. Which wouldn't make sense. It does not. Oh, hi Nomi. If anybody wants to talk about anything, feel free to say something. I'll be here in peace and quiet. Well, currently, Naomi, I'm doing a therapy journal because I kind of don't do it as often as I used to when I first started therapy. Mainly because I didn't think it was more. Nah, with all the words, I couldn't do it every day anymore, and I thought that because I have like this like self care stream and it's kind of a chill thing, I make sure to like in the stream to like first get this done, like do like a weekly recap kind of, and just to get my thoughts about how I felt about some things that have already passed and some things that are currently happening within the day. And I guess I'm realizing there's a lot that's happening this week. When I say that, I mean like changes, but also like fun events. Like I get to hang out with my family, well, extended family at some point, in the next few days. I'm not sure about like what am I doing on my off day. I know I have work, but then I also have like an anime convention coming up, so I'm super excited for that. And I'm also noticing that like although a lot has changed from like who I was a few months ago and now, it feels a lot different where it's like it's me walking forward, you know? And recognizing that there are things I can put effort in and things that I don't need to put in as much effort in, and that I'm kind of like not valuing myself, but like or not or validating, but it's like there are things that I'm afraid of still, and yet I'm still making the having the ability to continue with it. Like I've been job hunting again, just because I realized the job I don't have is something that I don't exactly like, right? And although I'm afraid of like trying these jobs, it could be something better for me. And I hesitated today because they were like, "Here's an email. You can choose when to have an interview with them." And when I was afraid, because I was like, I don't see myself doing this job, but it couldn't be worse than what I'm doing now. And if it's on a smaller scale, and if I can learn a new skill, why not? You know, the ability to learn and to use that knowledge for something else in the future that could be more beneficial can always be helpful. And I hesitated because I still struggle with the idea of change and like moving on, right? I'm gonna say calm for this one. And I'm getting better with it. But with like the resources that I've had recently and what I've learned, it's like if I take the time to segment it and think about it just a little bit, I can figure out my next, like how I feel about it and what I can do afterwards. Also, because like I got some really good gut instincts sometimes, and that's all that matters. Trusting myself, you know? Oh, thank you. Other than that, oh, words. Other than that, actually, that actually reminds me of a story that happened today. Also, therapy journal is done, but I was trying to talk to a guest at work today, and I was trying to tell her something, and then my words just fumbled and fluttered, where it was like blah, blah, blah. And I told her, I'm so sorry. Let me get my words right. And she was like, oh, no worries, it's fine. Like, take your time. And like, it was so nice and so pleasant, just because like, there are days where we're very much treated like we're not human. We're very much like the NPCs to their like main character story, and that the world revolves around them. And it just felt nice to just to like totally mess up, but being able to be listened to in a sense. Because you gotta realize, sure, you may be the main character of your own story, and there are gonna be people that aren't important to your story or as important. But as long as you're able to still treat them like decently as a human being, that should be important. Because life's too short to mess up someone else's life. Whether it is like a really large impact or a small one. Like if you can carry yourself with the ability to show like a good like stable consistency of like empathy, compassion, and all of that, life would be way more nicer. It'd be a lot easier to deal with. And unfortunately, a lot of people lack that. And I think where I'm trying to go with this is like, do what you can in your ability. And I'm not saying that everybody needs it exactly, but at least a baseline level, you know? My left leg is falling asleep, and it's not because I am sleepy. What chapter am I on in this book? Or is this actually the book that I'm done with? Nope. Alright, so we finished the other book, which was Stop Overthinking. Now today we are back to the subtle art of not giving an F. And today's chapter okay, so that's 21 pages I gotta read. But this is the final chapter, and then I think the last part is an epilogue? No, acknowledgements. They're just acknowledgements. Okay. But this chapter, the final chapter of the book is ellipses, and then you die. What? What do you mean, Boogie? What did you... What did I think that no one would notice? Should I be concerned? What have I done? Wrong book. This is the right book. Unless... How? Nani? If I'm reading the wrong book, oops. Alright, I shall proceed. Indeed. Other than that, Boogie, how are you today? Or tonight, whatever time it is, whatever time zone, because I don't know where you exist in this world. And I wouldn't want to ask that. I should also say I won't be reading this book out loud, mainly because it's technically a copyright thing, unfortunately. Like, I can definitely summarize the contents of like what is happening, but I can't exactly read it out loud. Because, like, it's the idea of go read it for yourself. You might learn something. Oh, you know, Watermelon, I try to make sense. But this chapter is already off to a good start. Like, the author's talking about, like, a change in their life that happened in this one specific area of, like, and then it gets, like, really specific in, like, the location of, like, this place on a hill that has a pool that is on a cliff, or, like, overlooks a cliff that is this high. And I feel like it's just, like, you start off in, like, a small section, and it slowly gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's like, okay, so it's over a cliff, and this cliff is, like, probably on a mountain, and on that mountain is, like, in this country, and look, at least that's what the vibe it gave me. And that definitely made chuckle boogie. Even though I didn't understand a lot of it, I think I understand what you mean. I feel like at this point I need to go Google, like, words, like, dictionary, and explain to me these new words that I will not understand because they go over my degree of knowledge. But I will agree to a degree. Therefore, it is me saying I'm within a foot in and within a foot out. My left foot's there, my right foot's out. And then you shake it all about. You know, something really random, because it's also popping up in the book. It talked about, like, you know, jumping off maybe like a 30-foot drop into water. Like, the idea of it seems fun and adventurous. And maybe I'll do that sometime in the future. But I also imagine my clumsy self just totally not getting that water. Because there have been, like, stories where, like, it just doesn't work out. I don't know, would anybody ever jump into, like, a body of water from, like, a large height at some point in their life? Well, the book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F, basically is a book that kind of teaches you, like, ways of how to think less about everything. Whether it is how you see yourself, or what you get overwhelmed with, and just really focusing on like what truly matters. No worries, it's all good. Wait, can like how high are we talking about? And also, like, what is your experience on that? If you don't mind me asking, because I have it, and I think that's due to my fear of heights. But I also know that one day I'll just be like, YOLO. We. And and Boogie, so like this book is broken down to like different chapters, and like a lot of them have really like interesting titles. Like chapter 1, Don't Try. And like it honestly it's been a bit, but I also made like little sticky notes for each section. So like the first chapter was about like not trying to be something you're not, and like learn how to accept who you are as a person. But like it's like these are very like simple things that are taught. Like you don't have to prove to anybody about like what you truly value. And I think that's something important with my upbringing, because I had to very much like, how do I describe it? I felt like a lot of my life I had to prove that I was somebody that I wasn't for different degrees of people and groups. And at the ripe age of what age I am now, I'm slowly learning, or trying to instill that the things I enjoy are things that I enjoy. Not everybody will like them, and some of the people that are around with me still, they're there for a reason. And it's like, I don't need to try as hard to please everybody and to be the thing that they think I should be. Because I mean, the only person that you really need to value your opinion of, which is the hardest one, is your own. And you gotta think about how you think and see yourself as. Chapter 2 mentions about like happiness is a problem, and it's interesting because we always vie for this ideal of happiness, and like I should be happy, and yet happiness can exist on any level. It doesn't have to be something big. It doesn't have to be like every constant achievement. It could be the very littlest things, as long as, again, you value that. Chapter 3 was like, you are not special, and that was funny too. See, thinking about like the 3rd floor, I just imagine myself not being accurately able to jump towards the floor. I think I can handle maybe like a 20-foot drop. Yeah, definitely be careful of like not hurting myself. But it's like no promises. Like back when I lived in college in the dorms, like I could totally run down the stairs just fine. But I would always trip going upstairs, which is the weirdest thing, you know? Normally you think about people falling downstairs, not falling going upstairs. Oh. Oh, so you mean like kind of like the community like diving pools. where they have like different levels where you can jump off like the diving board. So you have like a 10-foot one, 20-foot one, and you have like a 30-foot one, and even sometimes higher than that. Higher than my hand can go up right now. But yes. Yeah, I think jumping off a giant height it would be very much like, not the safest thing. But it depends on like what you like, whether or not it is being adventurous or just being not the brave, not the brightest. There, not. Mm, 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 1 second. Uh, bravest. Sorry, instead of bravest, brightest. Yeah, it's never like a fear of heights. It's always the fear of falling. I am not. Weirdly enough, I enjoy planes. I'm never like stressed out being on a plane, even if there's turbulence. And yet, when it comes to like height that is well on my own like being, I think it's definitely the fear of falling. I've always wanted to go to like a big water park. I've been to like smaller ones. They're fun, but I also injured myself one time when I went to a water park. Well, it's actually that water park. It was because like after the slide, like the pool was a little shallow, and instead of like when I tried to lift my foot up, I scraped like the very top of my foot, like both of them for some reason, and that was painful. And I don't know how that happened. Yeah, I've learned at work when I'm like the highest part of my stairs, and like I have to grab something from the highest shelf. I'm just like, I don't like this because one, I don't have a good grip with it, and also it's heavy. They want me, a small little person, to grab something from the highest shelf and on like the ladders, and I'm just like, my legs start buckling because I think I'm gonna fall. But it also depends on how much I'm actually thinking about it, because there are days where I'm just like, okay, I got this. Other days, if I think too much, my legs start to buckle. Maybe, Buggy, about like, being tall might add up to the fear, but I don't think that's always the case. Because it's like, if you're always used to being at a higher level, I think it'd be fine. But when you're small, everything looks bigger. Ooh. See, one of the sites I've always wanted to go on are the ones where they have like a giant hole in the middle and you're supposed to go around it in circles. And that seems really fun. Lazy rivers are fun until I want to go fast. also want to experience like a really long water slide, like one that continues on for a bit, you know? Because that would seem fun. I would not do a wave pool because I just don't want to be washed away. I can imagine myself being like, everything's peaceful, and then next second, well, there goes my body. Not because of anything morbid or anything like that, but just more of like, I'm going to get displaced so far from the original location. And I don't know if you guys have seen videos of where like people are like at the very beginning of the wave pool, and then like all of a sudden they get washed, like everybody's like washed upon each other. It's wild, especially if it's like not at the safest level. Like what place, kitten? Also, Boogie, I do listen to other music. I tend to usually listen to lo-fi because that's like the most chill thing to hang out with other people with, and easy to find non-copyrighted music, but I do like listening to other music, such as, I guess, my field is around pop, indie, some J-rock. It just really depends on what songs I like to listen to. Like, they really vary on their own thing, and they have their own aesthetic and different time for myself. Sometimes jazz, definitely EDM. But what about yourself? What music do you listen to? Or in general, what does everybody else listen to? Because even I don't know that. I get it. I mean, lo-fi itself, here's me going into the history of lo-fi because I did it as a presentation for one of my classes before I graduated college. But lo-fi music was made to be kind of like background music, hence the reason why, well, background/study music, because of the fact that it features like little crackles or things that are more like mundane in everyday life. It is usually at a slower BPM, and it's just made to be in the background. So you're like, you can listen to it, you can actively choose to listen to it. But it's usually like not something that is not necessarily recognizable, but pursued in a sense. Yeah, definitely depends on the mood, Watermelon. Although I can't help but listen to New Jeans every so often lately, because they've been popular and they're kind of affecting my brain at this point. Doesn't mean that I haven't been exploring music. Like lately, aside from like that one group, I've been very much into like indie music, but more of like indie music featured in movies in a sense, or like more like movie music for like, I guess, 1980s or 1980s, 1990s. I don't know why, but I actually enjoy it because like it makes me feel like I'm in a movie, but also it makes me want to run around. Kind of like this is the start of an adventure and you don't know where you're gonna be. But also anime music, because anime music hits. Like depending on the anime, like it's super important. What older songs would those be? And like, I listen to rap every now and then, but there's only so much that I can get into, I guess. Like, the rule is it has to be catchy, and it has to be something that I just don't mind like listening to every day. Because, sure, why not? It's just curiosity. What? Who have I? I'm just gonna look it up real quick, and I'll listen to it later. I don't know why, but his name seemed familiar for a second, but then I looked him up and I was like, nope, not the right person. But I'll listen to it later. I might as well. Alright, we'll put that there, and that'll be for later tonight. See you. Ooh, that sounds lovely, kitten. Have I seen a hippo? I think I've seen a hippo before, but I guess it'd be nice to see around wildlife. And Boogie, that sounds like an interesting song concept. I'll have to hear it and see if I can imagine just a guy really just wanting to, you know, well, a guy leaving everything behind just to be somewhere all day. Duck. I used to travel a lot of, well, where I am from as a kid. But I think as I got older and as family had family things, it was a lot rougher for us to just go out. I've seen my own fair share of like beautiful things. Would it be nice to see more of the country? Or at least other places as well. They're only dangerous if you harm them. They're very strong. Like, just give them their space, their territorial. That too, they always have to be on edge. Do you think there will be potential for like more holiday trips in the future? Also, interesting fact that I didn't know about. See, I knew that choppers were strong. I just didn't realize how strong. And also, I realized I haven't done my Duolingo for today. So I'm getting harassed by it. So we're gonna take a reading break and yeah. That. Okay. It doesn't help that they use different words from what I'm used to. Like the Vietnamese word for bowl is bo, at least from what I was taught. Hmm. Huh. Interesting. Frick. No, no, that's that button. Sorry. Whoopsies. How? Gonna move my mic away just so no one hears. Alright. No one needs to hear Duolingo. Move my mouth? Huh. Huh. And it crashed up. What for? I'm confused. Noodles. Hmm. Understandable. I think I want to see them in real life, but from far away, you know? Because, like, nature itself is scary. And that's why you want to keep a good distance of health. You know, if you want to live. You like noodles? Yeah. 4. I mean, I guess I could still see a hippo in real life at the zoo, but I think I've done that already. And I mean, it's not like it's out there on my bucket list to do, you know, immediately. Or at any point, because I have other things on my bucket list. But it's like, if it happens, it happens, but I won't actively do it, because nature. so many words for just 3 learning this language is not easy. I am multitasking because I'm running out of time for a streak. Kind of forgot to do it earlier. You know, the Duolingo bird is evil. Noi. Bang. Blue. See, that's the good thing, you know, they take proper precautions. But you all know there's gotta be that one person who's going to do the oopsie. We want... Wait, yes, we have hot tea. We... let's see, the doctor speak is to Noi. What is what? Want is moon. Okay, we did it, it's done. Now I got reading. I mean, yeah, that's probably true. I don't know, I guess I'm just imagining it from the perspective of where I'm from. And then the people who do really not the brightest things and like how they don't value other people's culture is like from what I see. Oh, you know it. See, if I were to travel anywhere outside of like my own country or even outside of the state, I would at least try to make a research and like to properly do things and not just be like, I'm gonna go out and about and not know anything without a doubt and go wee. Oh my god, okay. So, within the only like 3 pages that I've gotten through for reading so far, like, through the chapters and then you die, the author talks about, you know, again with the whole like jumping off the cliff and all that stuff because he went to like this party and like was one of his good friends, but like his friend was tipsy and drunk and told him like, hey, I'll meet you here where like we can do this like secret thing to jump. And like apparently, unfortunately, he was a little too tipsy, his legs cramped, and he wasn't the best swimmer. And when he jumped into the water, things happened, and he passed. And the author himself like went through a high depression because, you know, it was like his close friend, and all that. And then he started like dreaming about his friend, and the final dream he had with him was like, I guess he might have blamed himself for what happened to him, and he's just like, I'm really sorry you passed. And like his friend in that dream was like, or like, he doesn't remember the exact words, but the summary was, why do you care about me being gone when you're so afraid of living now? That too, you should really never do that. And then the author just woke up crying, but like that is something important. And I guess to note is like, where is my sticky note? I should probably write a good note on that. because we take notes, because sometimes you can't remember everything you read, and you can have notes. I think I want to quote it as like, nothing's harder than I guess my quote would be like, nothing's harder than just living. Or than to actively live. And I guess what I mean by that is, there will be times in our lives where everything kind of slows down. And sometimes there are points where we want life to be so slow or it to go back. And it's like, you can't go back. You can definitely stop yourself from moving forward while everything else changes. But at some point, you have to recognize what has happened and then how to properly grieve and move on from it. Like the idea of like how to actively choose and to want to continue. The exact same thing that happened, or one, if like the movie Everything Everywhere All at Once, we'll skip that, but the constant idea that the author mentions is like, if there is no reason to do anything, why is there also not a reason? There is no reason to do nothing. Like the idea of, if there is no meaning in anything, then we should create our own meanings. And I forgot what they call it. Something about nihilism. I just don't remember what the full word is, and it's bugging me. And I feel called out by this already. Because it's like the idea of, it may seem important to us, but there really doesn't need to be too much of a reason for us to have our fears and like our embarrassments, like to at least to amplify them. Like it's okay to have them, right? But there is the thing of, but we shouldn't let it control and dictate every bit of our life, if it ever gets to that point. That's what's so empowering about the ability to overcome your own weaknesses, or things that you're not the most proudest of. Like every now and then, I'll sit and have a flashback of when I did this thing in like high school, of like the amount of times I had a volleyball spike to my face during practices, and how embarrassed I was about that. Or the time where in like a choir show, I did a jump and I didn't land it perfectly during the show, and it was during the one show that was recorded where I landed after like maybe like a 6-foot drop, and my right foot slipped from under me. It scared people, but I just wanted that perfect landing for that moment. And I did it for the second show, but it wasn't recorded. And that kind of bugs me to this day. Or like with fear itself. Like, I am still afraid of bugs. But when you're able to overcome that fear, or when you're able to just like, well, for me, if I get angry enough, I'm just like, your existence is erased. Be gone, bug. Well, Boogie, I guess in short, I'll just say that I'm from America. I won't say any more because, I don't know. There's no need for me to tell you every detail, I guess, currently. Also, what is with this book and saying dropping out of music school? like, in this chapter, the author mentioned his friend dropped out of music school, and then he like quit weed, cigarettes, and then also dropped out of music school. Silently, I'm like, is this like a dissing of music school? And yeah, feel free. If I feel uncomfortable about answering the question, I'll let you know. But yeah, I am totally fine with talking a little bit about that. Oh, excuse me, sir. Challenging yourself to read 50 nonfiction books in 50 days. That is commendable. But, ooh, like reading one book a year is good enough for me. And I've already finished reading 2. I'm proud of that. Well, I guess 1.5 because I was still finishing a book from years ago. Um, from at least from my eyes, from my viewpoint, what was wrong with him was just like I don't want to delve into everything that was wrong. I feel like somebody else could definitely answer like what many people thought was wrong, I guess. From my viewpoint, it was just a lot for what he stood for and what he gave power to. And sure, he said a bunch of outrageous things, and that gave power to certain groups of people to do whatever they believed they could do and want. And it was unfortunate because it, in a sense, made the world a little bit unsafe. Like, how do I guess that's my brief summary. I don't want to. Sorry, I think I don't want to. It's there was just a lot to it. But I think that's like the briefest summary I can give. And also the things, I guess, like any politician, the things he promised never really came to fruition. And it seemed like there were more problems that came out. And it's really hard for me to say things because it's like, I know what I thought about him. I didn't like him. But I also know how like certain people viewed him as like important. And I think that's really all I can comment about it because I feel like that time has passed, or it's like, it's hard for me to recall it because it's something that I don't really look back and think about that often. But I just remember a lot of fear and turmoil when it came to people who were not the one that what Trump was speaking to. And just a lot of topics that, you know, America struggles with when it comes to, I guess you could say, equality, money, capitalism, and also just like whole ideas of race and the value of like immigrants themselves, and how people think that a country of immigrants should deport all immigrants that are trying to escape their realities from their homes, or, you know, the stereotyping of each and every person that aren't true, but something that has been built in a system that have existed for years. And I think that's all I can explain. Because I'm just like, I really kind of wiped that from my memory. Because I'm also just like, maybe. Politics are weird here. That's all I can say. It feels like at times it's just a lot of screaming and nothing happening. Or people who have the same beliefs but different values within those, and they don't exactly match up with each other. And some of them can be on a higher level and some of them are not. And I think that's all the discourse I have for that at the moment, or at least like my capacity of what I want to say about it. Yeah, it's always... I can see that. But it's like, in America, the president doesn't have as much power as you think they do, and at times it seems like they have too. It's like, there are times where they just seem like they can't do anything at all, and other times it seems like they can just do too much at once. And it's based on whether or not the other powers worked with them or in tandem. Yeah, I don't know what to comment on that one. Because in a lot of people's view, they wanted somebody else, but it was highly unlikely they would win because they were in a party that wasn't a large majority. But also kind of like the lesser two evils of everything that has been transpiring. And it was really close. But I think I want to just like leave that there for now. Yeah. It can be. That's why, like, I just gave a brief summary. And I just didn't want to dive too deep into it. That's for a conversation for some other day. Look, you're trying to say that over there it's a lot hotter. Because hippos live in like a hotter climate. How hot is it like over there where hippos live in? Nope, must resist from saying kinky. I just could not help that. See, this is like my mental energy of like tired, and if tired, I just want to say that. It's kind of like impulsive thought, and like it's nothing wrong with it, but there are times where definitely censorship is advised. Okay. So, like, in the next part, they talk about this guy named Ernest Becker, who basically, like, in the 1960s, was very much anti-establishment, and he got fired from, like, 4 different jobs, and almost a 5th one, in, like, 1 year. Like, because he kept on basically being at odds with whoever was, like, his leader, and then, like, really breaking up, like, nose wants to sneeze. But, like, they talked about him going to Berkeley, and apparently he used Shakespeare to teach psychology, used psychology textbooks to teach anthropology, and uh, anthropological data to teach sociology. Interesting. And also the fact that he sided with, like, anti-war for, like, the Vietnam War stuff, and calling his boss, something else. And it's just interesting, like, that throughout that, before he passed, and also before he could get fired from his 5th job, he got colon cancer and then wrote a book. Anyways, the 2 points of the denial of death. I need to read that section. Humans are special. Well, humans are unique because we are the only animals who can conceptualize and think about ourselves abstractly. Right? That's... And, like, the fact that we can imagine different realities, but also we can imagine the world without ourselves. Like, imagine the world about, like, death, and, like, what it's like if we're not there. It's crazy. And then second point, oh, and also, like, the idea of death terror. Because, like, for me, it's like, well, sometimes I'll just be here peacefully, and then I'll think about, oh, I'm gonna die soon. And, like, that makes me, like, feel kind of gross and wonder, like, what am I doing in living? Okay, and the second point is, like, we have our physical selves, and our conceptual self. At least that one book is arguing, okay? Well, we're on some level. Interesting. Interesting. Because, like, okay, so it's talking about, like, because we see ourselves in two different manners, our conceptual self and our physical self, and the fact that we might pass on, like, we know that we're gonna be gone one day. And yet, there's these things that we try to do, which are called immortality projects, right? That are basically ways to live on past when we actually live. And like, it's like we think about our impacts to the world, statues, our legacy, and all of that. And that, what was it? And that the world we're living in is basically a world built on immortality projects. Like, you know, we have our statues, we have our buildings named after specific people, our streets. Like, a lot of our world is that. And the fact that we always try to instill, like, in our next generation what we can do better and what is good. I won't say the meaning of life is shaped by this innate desire to truly never die, like the book says, but there is no meaning in life besides the one we give it meaning to. Because what is my value for living life is very much not going to be yours. It can't be, because what I find is my meaning, or what is important to me, will not be the same. Which is kind of nice, you know? But it's also, like, you know, I can't give you the answer to that. I just can't. When you want to find the answer, or sometimes it's just already there. Now, but Boogie, is that really true? I mean, I feel like humans themselves are very much that way as well. If you think about it in the concepts of our lives in society, humans are very territorial and aggressive. At least some, not all. It's kind of like, it's because, you know, we want to protect what is ours and what is our space, yet it might seem a little irrational when you overdo it. I mean, yeah. If we crave freedom as much as any other species, you might as well let them be happy and free. But also, less bugs that are lethal, please. I would appreciate it if they didn't exist. As much. Is it now? Why is that? Not really. If you like it, you like it. I don't really judge, but I just want to know the reason. I know this pen ain't out of ink. Why are you acting like you're out of ink? Yeah, no, I mean, I am. That's what I'm curious about too. See, every time someone talks about the B movie, I'm like, I haven't seen it. Chris Rock was a mosquito? This is news to me. Oh, okay. I think I might have seen that clip, but I didn't realize that that was Chris Rock playing a mosquito. Trying not to be, a victim of the wipers. All I know is about the synopsis of the story is B steals man's woman. I guess. That's like the basic premise that I can understand. And I guess it never caught my attention as a kid. But maybe I should see it just for the experience, and then to question, what did we watch as children? Or some people watch as children, I guess. You know what's funny is that I'm definitely afraid of like certain bugs that we deem as gross, but for some reason, with the bugs that we deem as cute, I'm totally fine with. Like, it took me a while for ladybugs, and like roly-polies, like those are my favorite ones to hold on to. Ants, they're just annoying. I've never held a butterfly just because I think flying things are something that I have to, like, inevitably just dodge. And moths look fluffy, but they also look scary. Oh, popping bones. still reading, Nomi, the book of The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F. I'm almost done with it. I just need to finish the like very last chapter, and I'm just like powering through. I have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages left. And I'll actually be done with my like 2.5 book of the year. And it's gonna be interesting because like the amount of growth that I've done from therapy and whatnot, it feels like it's accumulated to things of like, at a certain point, I'll be good without therapy. But there are some things I still need to tackle before I can say that I'm fully done. Or at least for a time where I won't need it as much. What are you up to, Nomi? Yeah, I am. It's just interesting because it really took a time for me to have the courage to choose to live life again. And once like I chose to live life again, I feel like all the fears that I had about living and what could potentially end me seem to just die down, and that if it's going to happen, at least I'm going to be doing something that I deem important to me. And that a lot of my extra thoughts, they could happen, but it's not like something I need to worry about on a daily basis. Ooh, okay. What are you rhinestoning exactly, and like, how far is the progress on that? Oh yeah, because I used to like worry all the time, and then I would think about like things at night, like, what if this happens? What if that happens? And I have to realize that is not my voice, but more of like the extra thoughts that don't need to occupy my mind. Ooh, okay. It's like we put our minds to what we should think about. And there are times where you gotta just like break it down and realize not all these thoughts have to be together. Like, what are the thoughts that you should listen to, and which ones are ones that are like, if they don't really have any value for me besides making me have fears and doubts, then you don't really need to have them around. Have the things that are good to think about, like have good values and goals, because those will be very implemental to what you would like in the future, or for yourself right now. I do wonder how everybody else in stream is doing. But Nomi, how much progress do you need to do left on that rhinestoning? Like, about what approximation of percentage would you think you are done with it? And I don't know why it sounded so, like, articulate, I guess? Articulate and robotic at the same time. With what I just said. Okay, I'm getting a little teary just by a book saying something so important. But there's a difference between great attention and great success. And it talks about how those two are not the same. Like being successful on your own terms, I guess you could say. And then great attention, meaning attaining success because it gets you the recognition that you are doing well, I guess. Right? Or like, sorry. The need to feel successful to feel great. And I don't know who needs to hear this, but you are great. No matter who tells that, as long as you can tell that to yourself that you are great, that's all that should matter. And sure, maybe you would like to be successful and great to others, but all that matters is as long as you're happy with yourself, that will spread and come true for everybody else. Because if you just give yourself into the pursuit of success just so you can get everybody else's validation, you will always end up seeking what's the word? Seeking approval from everyone else, when in truth the real issue is how you're struggling with your own approval. Probably should write that down of like, just you are great, period. That is gonna be my awkward summary, besides the really long philosophical one. Period. And it's all because a lot of like our own issues are our own, and it's really like, how do you want to solve it, and what is it true value, and As long as you continue to choose to do it on your own, that should be fine. And I think I do understand a lot of growing up as like, you need to be selfish, but not selfish in the sense that, you know, you need to only think about yourself, but more of, you need to know yourself truly before you can continuously give to others. Because as long as you have a strong core, nothing should be able to, well, it shouldn't be easy to be shaken away. Because, you know, people will be drawn to your own gravitational pull. Because, like, if your core is so small and someone else's core is huge, you're gonna just be dragged away. In, like, science term, I guess. But if you're, like, giant as the sun and everybody else is a planet, of course they're gonna orbit around you. that's the end of the subtle art of not giving an F. Well, technically there's a third one. That'll be for another time. For when maybe one day I feel like I need some assistance again in life. Just to help out, you know? But like, I've made so much progress. And it's still a journey to where I want to be. But I'm getting there. It's all that matters. No one's gonna tell me how to live this journey besides myself. But I think that kind of wraps it up for tonight. I read, well, it took me a lot longer than I expected. I did my journal. I listened to some chill music, got to exist, and kind of like let things out a bit. Thank you everybody who came by tonight to support. I appreciate it on my path to affiliate. Thank you Puma, thank you Watermelon, thank you Boogie, thank you Nomi, and thank you Kitten. I appreciate you all for being around. And, you know, if anybody sees this on YouTube later, thank you for watching. And if you want to see me live or just really have someone to talk to, I don't mind existing on these days, you know? And well, please feel free to come to Twitch. Other than that, I think this is it for my night. I'll see you around tomorrow, and hopefully I'll be gaming with you guys if I decide to play something with you guys, I guess. Or who knows? We'll see. I hope to see you tomorrow. Thank you, and good night. Deuces for me, DjDoubleT.